Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of TFW. Matt isn't here again this week, so it's just myself taking a look at some of the action from this weekend. And of course, we will be chatting about some of your hot topics, including David Moyes' career, believe it or not, Barcelona and if they can get a win over Juventus, Eden Hazard and his time at Real Madrid. Plus, we will be chatting to the Anfield Wrap about all things Liverpool and my weekly forecast. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So first up, this question/opinion comes from Raja Bhatia. Do you think Real Madrid will ever see the best of Hazard? He is back in the squad for the Champions League game, but seems to be running a tight rope. So this Hazard situation, he was supposedly out for a month with some kind of muscle strain. We've gone past the month, people haven't seen him training. Zidane has said that it's worse than feared. I mean, I think they will see the best of him. I think they've just been super unlucky with all of these injuries. I think it's 6 times now he's been ruled out. He's missed something ridiculous like over 200 days of football because of all these injuries. You know, he has had, I think, 22 appearances, 7 assists and a goal. So obviously when he's on the pitch, he's still creating stuff, but it is a tough one and I do feel bad for him, but I think that they will see the best of him. At the end of the day, there's plenty of games to be had. We've only just started this season. If he can come back from this injury, perform well, I think they will see the best of him. Obviously on that left side, they do have Vinicius at the moment, but like I say, there's a lot of games for them to swap in and out and stuff, and he is a creative player. He's an absolute talent, so I think we will end up seeing the best of him at Real Madrid. Okay, next up. Speaking of Real Madrid, a former Real Madrid player, this is from RS. Unless Ronaldo is deemed fit, Barca are going to absolutely demolish this frail Juve side by 4-1. Obviously, the Ronaldo situation, I don't think he's going to be playing. Barca are going to demolish them 4-1. Barcelona are currently 12th in the league, if you didn't realise. They've just been battered themselves 3-1 by Real Madrid. I mean, this will probably come back to bite me, but I cannot see them demolishing Juventus. I mean, at least Juventus are 5th in their league. They're not doing too shabby compared. I just think everyone seems to be thinking this is going to be full of goals and stuff. I can't see it happening. I can't see Barcelona with the current state of things. You know, Messi's had one of his worst starts to a campaign. There's so much drama going on. I don't think they're going to be in the right headspace to be getting a 4-1 win. Nah. Sorry, I can't see that. And regarding the team, yeah, they've got no Ronaldo, but they managed to rob Arthur, which was potentially one of Barcelona's best up-and-coming players. So, I don't know about that one. Okay, so next up we have got Fazan Musa. Why did Arsenal leave out Ozil when they clearly lack creativity? So, again, this is another drama that's been going on. The situation with Ozil, a part of me, I'm not an Arsenal fan, I've got no allegiance to them, but I kind of feel a little bit bad for him in a way. He's just kind of been left out in the cold. But at the end of the day, I think they've tried to get rid. Things haven't worked out. I think Arteta's just thought, you know what, let's just leave him out. I think he'll probably be moving on in January. But yeah, I think Ozil, he has a pedigree. You can't deny that. He's had some brilliant years of football, and he is a creative player, you are right, and he can provide that service for Aubameyang. But I think the issue is, and I guess you could argue that they don't really have anybody that they need more creative players in that area of the pitch is what I mean. And I guess when you look at Ozil, you think, well, he's a creative player. They're already paying him God knows how much a week. Why leave him out in the cold? Why not just bring him in and have him on the bench? And, you know, against Leicester, he could have come on and he could have created something for Aubameyang. You don't know. But I also understand that Arteta has got rid of him, but left him out because it's more his work ethic as a team. If you're building a new team and you've got somebody who is a little bit older, who doesn't really put in a shift when you consider the team as a whole, I can kind of understand it. I get both sides of this one. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but yeah, it is a tough one. Okay, next up, this is from Shivan Mishra. Popular opinion, Leeds are a wonderful side. That pains me to say, but yes. Is it just me, or can they actually challenge for qualification in the top 6? My Manchester United head is saying no, they can't, but my actual footballing head is saying absolutely. I think they've been absolutely fantastic. They've kind of done a bit of a Sheffield United in that they've come in, They've not really been scared of this league. Obviously, Leeds used to be massive at the top back in the day. They'll be wanting to recreate some of that. I think they've got a great manager. I think they bought really well. They've kept key players. And it is really exciting to watch, and it is really good when you see teams come up from the Championship and it's not just a bit of a nightmare like Fulham. They are competing, they're getting good results. You know, ending Villa's unbeaten run at the weekend was fantastic. So yeah, I know with Sheffield, it did kind of burn out towards the end. Maybe that will happen. I know some people have discussed that, but at the moment, why not? And you know what? Hats off to Leeds. They've come in, they've not messed about, and good for them. And I hope they do get it. I really do. No, I do. Okay, next up, this is from Shiraz Hassan. I think we could be surprised by Bayern's campaign this season. I'm not saying that they won't win it. I assume that's the league. I'm just saying them getting knocked out isn't as inevitable, or Champions League, isn't as inevitable as some people think. I'm not basing this off the Hoffenheim game. I could see a smaller team like Shakhtar beating them if Shakhtar qualifies, though because they're almost always close to conceding during counter-attacks, if at some point Neuer gets injured or doesn't play, it could cost them a lot. I think a team like Bayern, they've had so much success. They've been absolutely phenomenal. One of the, greatest teams, of the last few years. You could even stretch and argue for longer than that. They have been amazing. I think a team like that, teams are going to familiarise themselves with how they play and how to maybe disrupt it a little bit. And we have seen little bits of that. But at the same time, they are still absolutely flying. I think it can be a lot of what ifs. Will they come unstuck? Yeah, they might come unstuck a few times. Will they have injuries? As we've seen, they are going to have injuries. But I think the base of this Bayern team and how strong they are, and at the end of the day, it's goals that are important as well. Obviously, being able to stop conceding goals, of course, but with the talent that they've got up front, I'm just not worried. Maybe I should be worried. I think there will be some surprises along the way, but I think all in all, they're still going to be challenging for that Champions League trophy, 100%. It is hard to retain, but I think they've got a very, very good shot at doing it. And in the league, I think it's just going to be business as usual. Okay, and finally, this is from LPR Geddes. David Moyes is one of the most underrated managers in English football, both past and present. What he did at Everton was incredible, and the current West Ham team is very functional. That's what you want for an amazing team. Yeah, they're functional. I can't agree with this. I mean, I'm not David Moyes' #1 fan anyway. I mean, with the Everton situation, he was there from 2002 to about 2013. They didn't win anything. He didn't win them anything. Yes, he got them further up the table. He made good signings. They were competing at a different level. He maybe took them to that next level, but in all those years, he didn't win them anything. So I don't know. I don't think he's necessarily, maybe underrated, I guess, for being at Everton for so long and, like I say, making good signings, finishing all right in the season. I wouldn't have him as absolute top of the trade, definitely not. And I mean, then he moved to Manchester United. He tried to get Manchester United to play like Everton, actually showing them footage of Everton defenders. I don't understand that. Then he went to Real Sociedad, didn't work. Sunderland, not much better. West Ham, you know what? If he's found his feet with West Ham, fantastic, good for him. But one of these, when I think of the best coaches in English football, David Moyes does not, he doesn't really come into my mind, I've got to be honest. But there you go, that's your opinion, fair enough. We are now going to move on to our special guest. With everybody talking about Liverpool's defence, are they going to buy a defender? Are they not going to buy a defender? What is going on? I thought, why not sit down and have a little chat with the Anfield Wrap? So I spoke to John about all things Liverpool and got his opinion on the current situation. Okay, John, so first up, we have got a question from Max Dutton, who says, do you think Liverpool need to sign a top-class centre-back in January, or do you think Fabinho and Gomez are up to the job? $1 million question at the moment.
Yeah, I think they will buy someone, and I think they need to. Not that I don't think those two are up for the job, but I just think it's going to be a long, tough season, a lot of games, and I think they need a little bit more help. I think they would have maybe gone someone for next summer anyway, so I think it's probably just bringing that player forward. So the idea of whoever they were looking at for next summer, can they get that done in January? They might have to pay a bit more, but they might decide it is worth it. So yeah, I think they need to, and I think they will do it in January, and hopefully someone good will be available who can improve us and hit the ground running, because the games are thick and fast, aren't they? So we'll need someone to contribute straight away. But I'm sure they're working really hard to kind of identify who it is and get them in.
Is there a name at the top of your list that you would be dying to see, or do you not want to say anything to tempt fate?
Well, the one that's most strongly linked at the moment is Kabak, isn't it? And he's very highly thought of. We've done a couple of shows on the Anfield Wrap around him, and people who've seen him more in Germany say, he's a really good talent. I think they looked at him in the summer, just decided that it was maybe a little bit too soon for him. Maybe he's better off where he is, playing every week and developing. So I think that's what I mean when I say that someone who they might have been having a look at for the future might be sooner than what we thought because of the Virgil van Dijk injury.
Fingers crossed for you. Next up, this is from Insta Boaz. So they've asked the question about who we think is the best Champions League group, and he has gone for your group, Group D. And it got me thinking, with the last two seasons for you guys in the Champions League, how do you honestly think that you'll fare this season?
I think we'll do well. I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because our record in Champions League is so good in the knockouts, but so much of that is because of the crowd at Anfield and the atmosphere that we've been able to create. And so we've had, games where we've looked down and out, Barcelona being the most obvious one, but even a few years back against Dortmund in the Europa League, but under Klopp's first season, where we were able to turn back a deficit, and it was the power of the crowd together with the team, we're sort of able to do that. We don't know yet when crowds are going to be back in this country in stadiums, and so hopefully it'll be in time to kind of for the knockout stages of the Champions League, and we'll all be able to do our bit and try and help out. So that'll be a big loss if not. But look, we're confident, where we always are at Liverpool, and we always feel like we're going to do well. We'll back ourselves. There's a little bit of a shame what happened last year against Atletico Madrid, so they want to put that right. And this team have done incredible things together, and maybe a second Champions League then is the next thing for it. Who knows? But yeah, we're confident here. But as I say, we always are.
Right, so basically what you're saying to me is that Liverpool are winning the Champions League. We've got it from you guys first.
I won't bet against them.
And lastly, now, Big Head Peanut had a lot of Liverpool opinions, so I have just selected one, which is Diogo Jota has hit the ground running for Liverpool, and in my eyes, if he continues his form, he could be a dark horse as a potential signing of the season. In every game, he's looked lively and dangerous. Even against Villa, he wasn't particularly horrendous in my eyes. What do you make of that?
Yeah, he's looked excellent since he's come in, and I think having someone who's able to come in and make an impact straight away is such a nice thing, really. Normally, players will take a little bit of a time to settle, especially for this Liverpool team where the manager demands a lot from his forward players. It's not just kicking the ball in the goal, although Jota's done that a couple of times for us already. But obviously, your work rate, what's expected from you from a defensive point of view, pressing, and then also linking up with your teammates and creating chances for them. But he looks like a born Liverpool player, doesn't he? He looks like a ready-made Klopp player, and he's been excellent for us, and so he's been a real bright spot for this season. And it's great as well because we had the front three that everyone knows we have. It's one of the best in world football, but finding someone who was able to come in and give those guys a bit of a rest or come in and make an impact from the bench was proven to be quite tricky, really. We all loved Divock Origi, and we always will, for what he did in Madrid, but he just never seemed to quite fit in when he started for Liverpool, and it never seemed to quite gel with the others. But with Diogo, he's come in and look like he's on their wavelength. He's looked like he plays sort of a similar style. His intensity's there as well, and he's got a couple of goals, and including a winner at the weekends. This isn't bad at all. So yeah, we're all delighted with him. We're all really happy with him, and we all feel there's much more to come as well, because he still is new. So I'm sure once he gets to know his teammates a bit better, and starts to feel a little bit more comfortable in that Liverpool shirt as well, I'm sure there's even more to come from him, which is brilliant news.
You know what? I think at the moment, it's been a little bit doom and gloom with Liverpool with the injury, and it's like everyone's gone into panic mode. You've made me feel very positive right now. I feel like you guys are going to be winning everything. Diogo Costa is going to be, the player of the season. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very confident for you guys. So thank you. I don't know if I should say thank you as a United fan, but still, I like the positivity.
We were feeling down, after the Virgil van Dijk injury as well, and that Everton game was a real big one for us to bounce back after what happened against Aston Villa was just such a disaster all round, and so we were all feeling down. But the last week or so has been a reminder that there's still a lot of good players at Liverpool, and also that they're great when the chips are down and they can grind results out as good as anyone. So it's two good back-to-back wins since that Virgil van Dijk injury, and there's a lot of fight left in this team. There's a lot of quality left in this squad, and we're still going to be there and thereabouts for everything we think this season.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck to you guys. Hopefully we can catch up again, maybe in January, to discuss a little transfer. Who knows? Maybe in a defensive role. But yeah, thank you so much, John, for chatting to me, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you guys as the season progresses.
Absolute pleasure.
Great to chat to John there and get his opinions on all things Liverpool. Now, before we finish, we have got the weekly forecast. Now, last week, I was pretty wrong. I thought Ajax would win. I did get close with Real Madrid. I thought they'd win 3-0. They won 3-1, not too bad. This week, obviously, Juventus-Barcelona. Obviously, my opinion previously in the show, I'm going to have to go with a Juventus win. I think they'll get a sneaky little 1-0 victory. And then at the weekend, we have got Leeds against Leicester. I think this is a super exciting game. Leicester obviously managing to get that win over Arsenal. Leeds getting the win against Villa. I think this is going to be a really good game. And I have a feeling that Leeds are going to get the win on this one. I think they're going to win 2-1. But that's just my opinion. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. Why don't you guys let me know in the comment section below what you thought about some of our opinions from TFW and what your forecast is for the week. Whilst you're there, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribing, and check out all the other content that we've got going on here at OneFootball. And until next time, I will see you guys later.